Hey guys, my name is Mason Lewis. I am a Galactic Akashic Record reader as well as a channeler for my higher self. If you guys didn't watch my last video, my higher self is a parallel life being lived by this being named FohTheim. And FohTheim is from the Pleiades as we know it. Um, but all of what I'm about to tell you is stuff that FohTheim has told me in my meditations, as well as all of the lessons that he taught me and teachings about the dances that they have, the culture of his people, his backstory of how me and him even got to this point in time currently. So I'm going to start off by talking about FohTheim's home. Um, so before I start, FohTheim is it's good to know that FohTheim is not different from me. We share the exact same soul. One thing that FohTheim told me a lot when I first started was a language he called Ablu. So Ablu is a language used in Lyra, and it is an ancient language, and he told me these words: E gu a akrifti okush. And that translates to English as I am you and you are me in the eyes of Source. So this was him trying to strain the importance of me knowing that we are not separate, but we are one. So FohTheim, after telling me this, the floodgates basically opened, and a few meditations later, he started piece by piece telling me about his culture, where he came from, and what he has done. So the culture of his people focus heavily around the spine, and the spine is very important because they believe that the soul inhabits the entirety of the spine. And if there's any kind of misalignment in the spine, there are misalignments all over the body. The spine is the powerhouse to our everything that we are. And because of this, our culture bases our dances around our spine. We move energy through the spine, up and down the spine, revolving everything around it. So there is a dance that balances the masculine and the feminine energies, and every dance that we do, we keep our feet planted to the ground as if they are roots connecting us to the planet. So we move these energies with our hands and in a certain pattern, and some can create portals, some can help with manifestation, and some can balance energies like masculine and feminine. Some focus primarily on chakras, um, which brings me to my next point. Um, the heart chakra. So the heart chakra, our people focus uh, on incredibly, to a point where we base everything around our heart chakra, about what we feel, about how we feel about other people. Um, Whenever we have questions, we do not look above, but we look into our heart. Because of this, we are very passionate people. We have we communicate through our heart chakra. So if you didn't know, whenever you are doing the Akashic Records for somebody else, you connect via the heart chakra. You connect as if there's a cord in between both of you, just for a moment, so that you can read into their entire soul history. So that is just a simple example as to why the heart chakra is so important, not only to all of us, but to the culture of FohTheim's people. So FohTheim's planet is called Ma'ama. It's spelled Ma'ama, and it's located near the Alcyone star, which is what we call it. And the Alcyone star is in the center of the Pleiades star system. So our inhabitants is looked at from the outside world on Ma'ama as primitive because all of our houses are primitive looking. We build our houses into the ground, and everything we use plows, we use all of these things because, for one, we do not need technology to thrive, and two, we have technology integrated into our everyday lives, just not so where it's overburdening. So this brings me to my next point, to what our houses look like. So my house, or FohTheim's house, is shaped like a dome, and there are 4 rooms inside, and in the middle is this big open space, what we would call the living room. But there are 4 rooms, and 4 rooms is the importance, uh, is a huge number for all of us. I'll explain this into larger detail, but just a brief explanation of the number 4 is 4 embodies all things. Whenever you see a sphere, you can put 4 corners around the sphere, encompassing the entirety of that sphere. There are 4, on our planet Ma'ama, there are 4 uh, beings that we would call elder beings, 2 light and 2 dark, constantly pushing on each other, making sure that there is balance within the planet. Watching over our galaxy, there are 4 light beings, and then there are 8 dark beings that are keeping things balanced. And the reason for there to be 4 light beings and 8 dark beings is because there needs to be this control of the light. Without the control of the light, everyone and everything would ascend to the 9th dimension incredibly quickly, causing the universe to end what we would call prematurely, because we wouldn't be able to experience all of these experiences. We wouldn't be able to learn our lessons, and everything would progress far too quickly. So that I will explain more into detail in videos further down the road. So now, the last thing about our homes is, and the last thing about our culture is that we base our culture heavily around our individuality. So we have what we would call here on Earth tattoos, where we cover our bodies in symbols. We also cover our homes in symbols, and we put colors all over our homes to make it our own. Each one of us has different shaped homes, different shaped bodies. Nothing is this is the same, and we cherish that by showing our own individuality through to the external world around us. So now I want to talk about FohTheim and his progression from when he was a child up until the point me and him are at now. So FohTheim started off at a young age knowing exactly what he wanted to do. So at the age of 4, since the veil between the afterlife and physical reality is so thin in higher dimensional realities, FohTheim was able to do what I do, which is view the records and see what his purpose was for this life. So FohTheim was able to see all that he was going to do. He was able to know all that he was going to experience in this life. And so because of this, he understood that he wanted to be a pilot. So immediately at the age of 4, FohTheim joined what we would call the Taigetan Coalition. So the Taigetan Coalition is a group that inhabits 400,000 people, and over time they bring these people to planet Earth to help with the ascension process and to help with the Earth to return back to her original glory, which is the 5-dimensional awareness that she always has been. So the Taigen Coalition works hand in hand with the Galactic Federation, and the Galactic Federation is was FohTheim's main goal. He wanted to be a pilot to join the Galactic Federation, because the Galactic Federation was like the NBA of our world. Everyone who played basketball wanted to be an NBA player, and anybody who wanted to be a pilot wanted to join the Galactic Federation. So because of this, FohTheim joined the Taigetan Coalition, and from the ages of 4 to 16 or 17 range, which on our planet was around, I believe, 143 or so years, just on our linear timeline. From the ages of 4 to around 16 or 17, FohTheim was training, and he was becoming who he wanted to be. He used a lot of manifestation and a lot of energy work to be able to join the Galactic Federation as a pilot. So by the age of 17, he succeeded in his goals, and he was tasked to his first campaign. So to my awareness, FohTheim has been able to partake in 4 separate campaigns. Campaigns are long missions, basically, for anybody who doesn't know. And the first one was meant for FohTheim and FohTheim's friend, whose name is Kalek, to go to a planet that was recently awakened into the 5th dimensional awareness and recently joined the Galactic Federation as allies. So we went there to talk to these people, to share our technology, to share our knowledge and wisdom that we had obtained over the years. So my friend Kalek shared the technology of interdimensionally traveling into the 4th dimensional realm with a physical ship, and so she taught them how to do it responsibly, how to do it safely, and I taught them how to fly. Since this is our main focus as a group, we taught them all about spacecrafts. So after our initial campaign was completed, after months and months and months of staying there and teaching these people and integrating with their society, we moved out of the planet. And while we were leaving the planet, we ran into what we would call the Dark Fleet. So the Dark Fleet is a group that is filled with what we would call reptilians, also known as the Sakara Empire. So this is where you guys kind of need to bear with me, because we start delving into different realms and realities when it comes to space battles. So while we were leaving this planet, our ships were oval shaped, and we only had 4 of us because we weren't expecting to get into any kind of battles. But as we were leaving the planet, we ran into 6 of these Dark Fleet ships, and that's 7. So as we were leaving, our technology, our AI, our computers notified us of these ships that were entering the atmosphere. So with this warning, we were able to prepare for battle. So this is my first ever battle with real enemies and a real chance of dying. So space battle is not like how it is in the movies. So in real life, it's very quick and ends within what could be seconds. So whenever a ship explodes, the ship compresses into a smaller and smaller version of itself and collapses on itself until it becomes a singular point, which is a blue singular point. And you see after this blue point, it expands slightly in a bright burst and then dissipates again into nothingness. So we would call it disappears into the void. There is no flashy light of fire. Fire is not able to happen in space, but it is more of a whimpering than anything. And there is no sound, it is just quick, painless death. So if you were to view, sorry about the morbidness, but so this is just real life, guys. Okay, so if you were to view the battle from a distance, what you would see is this. You would see these lights, these white and green lights. I'm only drawing them as green because their ships are on the exterior. These ships have these two green lights on the rear of the ship, so that's why I'm drawing them as green. But otherwise, they would be black and hard to see. So these ships, you would see them just jolting from place to place, just like this. And you would see what would look like the other ships dancing with them. So they would match their speed, they would jolt next to them, and it would look like a dance. But mid-jolt, you sometimes would see a yellow beam shoot from the ships and shooting at them. And all of a sudden, you would see the ship get small and turn into a blue little light, and then you would see nothing. So as this battle happened, it happened in quick succession. One after another, their ships became no ships, and eventually got to one. We had 0 losses, and they had all the losses. So the reason we won this battle was for 2 reasons. This was a conversation me and Kalek had about, it was like a joking kind of thing. So Kalek was saying that it was the technology that helped us win this battle, and then I jokingly said, no, it was our piloting. But all in all, it was the technological advance that we had, because these ships, I want to go over it real quick. These ships were not for battling. These ships harbored warriors. In the interior of these ships were columns like this, and in between each and every column was a what we would call a warrior caste reptilian. These reptilians are ginormous and incredibly strong and powerful, and they are definitely something you do not want to mess with. But they were there. This was what we would call like a cargo ship or a cargo plane, and which brought soldiers, but just the alien version of it. So they were in this ship in between columns, and they were coming here to take advantage of the newly awakened people of this planet, and they were completely unaware that they joined the Galactic Federation to their demise. Now I want to talk about the mission or campaign that brought FohTheim to commander ranking. So there was a mission similar to the one that we just had, except they were already initiating an invasion, a full-scale invasion. And this is when they were doing invasions on planets that were not protected by the Galactic Federation. The reptilians and the Greys' main objective is to harvest energy, more so than the Galactic Federation, but to the point where it is inflicting on the free will of the beings. So whenever they do not submit to the fear that they give off, they inflict damage. So this was one of the fastest battles that I ever partook in. So the ships are shaped similarly to this. So these ships are motherships. They are ginormous. I would say maybe 2 miles tall and could be maybe almost a mile wide even. So these ships are massive and meant for invading. And the only way to destroy these ships is with a quick blow. And it has to be quick because they will obliterate you within seconds if you're not fast enough. So our ships are able to traverse into different realms. Um, the technology was created by my mother. By her name is Alcyone, and she has experienced trillions of universes come into fruition and then whimper out into nothing, which is the fate of our universe that we are currently in, just in a few billion years, a few 100 billion years. um, so, attacking these motherships, you need to be incredibly quick, and you need to strike in one particular spot um, repeatedly. So the beams that we shoot out of our ships uh, are at the temperature of 14,000 degrees Celsius. And if you shoot enough of them in one focalized region, it creates a dent in their ships, which makes the ship unstable, creating the ship to compress and be destroyed. Um, but not many people were able to attack these ships head on, like we did on this campaign. So we flew in quick succession to attack this singular point on the ship, and we shot tons of beams, which what FohTheim calls focalized energy weapons, into this specific spot on the ship. And once we did our run, we were here and appeared here next to the ship. And one after another, within less than a second, we shot all of our shots here, and the ship started to concave on itself. And these ships do not go down lightly; they go down heavily, barreling down to the planet. So because of this, you would see the ship start to rotate this way, and you would see it falling, and all of a sudden you would see this part of the ship concave on itself. And they had fail safes so that not everybody on the ship died, and they had enough time to escape in their own discoidal crafts into safety. So these ships were leaving out of their ship to flee, basically, because they were defeated. And this is when uh, we were able to go and grab these ships or destroy them. So that was the last campaign that awarded FohTheim the title of Commander, which then gave him the opportunity to do what I am doing right now, which is incarnate here while also living a parallel life like many, many, many others on this planet as we speak. That brings me to my last and final point, to how I am able to live a parallel life and still communicate with FohTheim. So, real quickly, FohTheim was able to go into these pods, and these pods you're able to experience an entire life, and you can simulate my life within 2 hours. And FohTheim years, for 2 years to be precise again, uh, lived out my life in different scenarios to experience different things. And these, of course, were simulations, but as we know, as we advanced beings know, that we are already in a simulation, so it was pretty dang realistic. And because of that, FohTheim grew wisdom and has now been able to assist me in my endeavors and in my forthcomings. So now this is how I'm able to communicate with him and how he's able to help me and appear to me as my guide or helper. For now, that is all I have to say about FohTheim. Um, but I will explain more and more in the upcoming videos about his family. So his mother, who is also my mother in this life. I'll also explain about a whole number of things. I have probably about 8 videos lined up for all the information that FohTheim has taught me, and this is only just a sliver of what is to come. And hopefully there is more to come as well after all of my meditations. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it resonated with you at least a little bit, and I cannot wait to continue on and share with you more of the insights that FohTheim has brought to me. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Much love. Peace.